Welcome to Pirates TV viewers. I'm Scott Mitchell. I'm your presenter and commentator for this evening. May I remind you that this broadcast has all its rights reserved and the copyrights are owned by Poole Speedway. So, in we go to the meeting. What a meeting we have tonight. We have the Poole Pirates versus the PLYMOUTH Gladiators in the Knockout Cup first round, second leg. The first round, first leg was last night down in Plymouth, with the Pirates bringing home a 48-42 win. So tonight they start with a 6-point lead. Let's head down to the pits with Rob Dyer and see who he's got with him.
Okay, so we've come down to pit lane. Neil Middleditch, the Pirates team manager, with us. Neil, good result last night down at the Coliseum. Perhaps you could give us your match report.
Yeah, no, it was a good result. I mean, they were pushing us really well, leading us best part of the way through the meeting, but we just sort of came good right at the end of the meeting. But yeah, they were a tough side down there. It's a tricky little track. If you don't make the start, it's very, very hard to pass around there, and they just had us at the starts early doors. But as I say, got back into them in the end.
Fighting performance really from the Pirates, because as you say, it was 6 down at one stage, but as the track came to the boys, they certainly put in a performance that you can be very proud of. Yeah,
and I think the good thing about it was that everybody played their part. I know Ben and Nathan had a bit of a rough night, but they all contributed towards it. Obviously Richard was outstanding, Stevie, Danny, 5 points. You won't see that too often this season, believe me, so it just sort of shows you Danny's a racer, and he couldn't really race last night. It was just no passing lines really, but all in all a good result.
The Gladiators had a bit of bad luck on the way through, particularly with Eddie Kennett, who's taken a bit of an arm injury, and it does mean that he's got to step out of the meeting here tonight. But shrewdly, they've brought in Chris Bomber-Harris, and it really makes them look like a powerful lineup that could come here and try and upset the spoils.
Yeah, of course. They're not giving up, are they? It's not a big lead, but and I think every club that comes to Poole and needs a guest, they always call on Bomber, don't they? Because they know his track record around here is very good. So, but one man doesn't make a team, and they've all got to work together to try and overcome the Pirates. And I think that at home, I think we've got a bit of an advantage here. So hopefully we can just maintain it.
It's been a bit windy day today and some showers along the way. Track doesn't look too bad. I think it's going to give us some great racing tonight. Your view on that?
Yeah, no, looks great. Obviously this morning there was a few question marks with the weather, but we're lucky. We had some rain early doors, but it's dried up now. It's windy. Terry's been out there doing the track, and the big man upstairs is the best water of all tracks, and it looks really, really good.
Brilliant. Thanks, Neil. Good luck to you and your team for this evening.
Cheers, Rob. Thanks, mate.
Well, having had a word with Neil Middleditch for the Pirates, I'm very pleased to welcome Hans Andersen back to Poole Stadium. Hans was here last week for Bjarne's testimonial, and it was great to see Hans on track again. And yesterday, Hans, it was the Gladiators' first championship meeting. It's the Cup meeting, first leg, of course. Didn't quite go to plan for you down there at the Coliseum.
No, it was a pretty good meeting, I think, to be fair. It was a tight meeting all the way, but the champs were a bit strong towards the end and come away with a 6-point lead. Again, we are disappointed, obviously, to lose at home, but the Gladiators this season, we've got new members in the team, including myself, and that was only my second time ever on the track yesterday, so it's been a special track. I can ride it size-wise, but it's just setup-wise, it's a completely different to all other tracks, so it'll probably take a meeting or two more before we can get 100% dialed in, but then we should be good. It's definitely a good home track. But then again, yeah, it was a tough task yesterday being up against the champions in our very first meeting. But I still think it was a good meeting. It was a tight all the way through until to the end.
And Rubber the Green perhaps didn't go the Gladiators' way. Had Ben Barker taken out in one race, excluded. Henry came down. A couple of tape exclusions there for your new man Dan Gilkes. So promising signs, even if it was a defeat.
Yeah, I was definitely think most of the boys really rode well and did a good job yesterday, and like you said, there are plenty of room, myself included, for improvement. And once we get set up for the track and everyone sort of improve on their performances, we are a strong side.
It's a tricky track to set up for, though, isn't it? Because you may be used to something bigger and the engine pulls very hard, but down there you need to set up dead right to make good starts.
You do. With the track being, it's probably the smallest track I've ever raced on a 500cc bikes for sure. But yeah, starts are vital in speed, but down at Plymouth is even more vital. And if we can get something that pops out at the start, it's half the race run.
So tonight we're only halfway through, and unfortunately Eddie Kennett has gone down with an arm injury, and we wish him a speedy recovery for that, of course. But it does give the opportunity for Gladiators to bring in a guest, and Chris Harris is the man that Garry May has chosen, and probably no better guest to have round this track than the Bomber.
No, and especially obviously I ride with Chris in Peterborough as well, and Chris has been going really well this season, and he rode tremendous Monday for Peterborough, so you know, it's nothing better than to bring in a rider on fire, which Chris is at the moment. Hopefully he's the same Bomber that turns up tonight, and if I can pull my finger out, sorry for the language, if I can, you know, and we can chip in with some points, hopefully we can maybe surprise a few people.
So all to go for tonight. Good luck to your Hans and to your Gladiators team. Let's hope it's a great meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hans.
So here we go then. Here's the two lineups for this evening. For the Poole Pirates, at 1 is Stevie Worrall. At number 2 is Zach Cook. At number 3, Richard Lawson. Number 4 is Ben Cook. At number 5, Captain Fantastic Danny King. At number 6 is Drew Kemp. At number 7, Nathan Ablitt. We go over to the Plymouth Gladiators, and coming in as guests at number 1 is Chris Harris for the injured Eddie Kennett. At number 2, the hard-charging Ben Barker. At number 3, it's Alfie BOWTELL. At number 4 is Michael Palm Toft. At number 5, the Plymouth Gladiators captain Hans Andersen. At number 6 is Dan Gilkes, and at number 7 is Henry Atkins. So, ever wondered what a rider comes around looking at the start for when you see him digging away? Well, there's only one thing to do is ask Danny King in the rain exactly what he's doing with my Dartometer. So, Danny, what are you looking for?
We're looking for grip, basically, mate. If we can see here, I've found a bit here. It's a little bit firmer, which is good. It's still a bit on there. You know, you could make a good start off that. But if you just move slightly to the left, you'll see it go in a lot more. So basically, the more material, the more grip on the back wheel. So
then how does it change over the evening? So as the course of the races go on, you get to heat 9 or whatever. Then what are you looking for? Because you're still here digging around. You've got ruts everywhere. Then what's the way then?
So what I'll be doing is I'll find me probably the straightest rut, or possibly the rut with the best bit of material in front of it, and then I'll just literally kick as much material as I can and pack it where I want it, drag it, and pack it to get that grip back in the rut.
So that then compacts it, so it's a little bit tacky, a little bit, so it won't move, it'll spin, but it will grip.
So basically you've got knobbles on the tyres, as you've seen. The more material there, the more knobbles are going to get into it and shoot you forwards. If there's no material there, it'll just spin on top.
Otherwise it's like starting on a tarmac road.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. That's an insight from the Poole captain, Danny King, and the new Dartometer.
Well, here we are down at pitside for the Poole Pirates against the Plymouth Gladiators, the West Colour Gladiators, and it's just the end of the warm-up here. Nathan Ablitt, as you can see, is just putting the bike on the stand. I think he's the last one to finish his warm-up this evening. Young Ablitt in his first competitive meeting for the Pirates here at Wimborne Road. Rider with so much potential. He's got his dad with him helping out tonight and looking for a good score. He didn't disgrace himself at Plymouth last night by any manner of means, so it'll be great to see how he tackles the visiting reserves here at Wimborne Road. In the next bay, the man with his hood up and the headphones on, concentration, the main thing, is Danny King, Pirates skipper. It was a 5-point haul for Danny down at Plymouth last night. Not his type of racing track, really. He likes the wide open spaces, but of course the Coliseum is rather tight and not always suited to Danny's style. But as always, we're giving out plenty of advice in the pits during the course of the meeting and helping the younger riders on their way. We're looking for Drew Kemp next, still to come, I think, from the changing rooms, and we understand that Drew's been staying locally overnight and had to do his own bikes today. His mechanic was away, so Drew's had to get his hands dirty and get that engine tuned for this evening. In bay number 4 there is Zach Cook. Zach, who was a former Plymouth rider, of course. He got 5 points, paid 7 down at Plymouth last night, and he certainly knows his way around the Coliseum. But again, a very difficult track, and one that you need a few meetings to really get yourself dialed into to know the way around. I know we're looking at his back, but if we just turn the man around, let's just say good evening to Chris Holder. Chris, we're on the live stream. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How you going?
We're good, thank you. How's Poland?
Yeah, sweet. It's normal.
It certainly is, and you enjoying your racing out there?
I'm loving it, mate.
He's loving it. Well done, Chris. Always a hero here at Poole. Thanks very much indeed. Next door is Steve Worrall. Steve doing his exercises pre-meeting. 13 points down at Plymouth yesterday. Great effort. Pulled the Pirates round from a 6-point deficit to win it by 6. And next door is young Ben Cook. Ben, who had a great meeting here last week, and he came up with a super win at Plymouth, Heat 14 last night. Looking for more of the same tonight, no doubt. And next door in the end bay is the Pirates' new man, Richard Lawson. Just waiting for Richard, I think, to come back from the changing rooms, but paid maximum last night down at the Coliseum, and certainly looking to do great things. And now we're going to pass back to Scotty.
So here we are from the commentary position. It looks like we're away, and we'll hand it over to Nigel.
So let's meet our visitors then at number 7, one of the retained gladiators from 2021. He continues his career path at the Coliseum. It's Henry Atkins. Number 6, a sensational debut for the Gladiators last night with the top scoring 16 points, Dan Gilkes. At 5, moving south during the winter, seasoned skipper, a reliable point scorer of course, Hans Andersen. Number 4, collected a win here last week in our challenge against the Panthers, Michael Toft. Number 3, improved his average by almost 2 points last year to earn the callback for the Gladiators, Alfie BOWTELL. Number 2, guaranteed to get 100% effort from this rider. He's getting closer to his Cornish roots with a move to Plymouth, Ben Barker. And another Cornishman at number 1, deputising for their injured man. You couldn't call on a better guest than Chris Harris. Make some noise for a 1-7 that looks like this. In number 7, he joins the Pirates this year. He makes this his home debut in an official match tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, big welcome please for Nathan Ablitt. At 6, he picked up his first Pirates win in just his second outing last Wednesday, Drew Kemp. At 5, our ultra reliable captain in his second term with the Pirates, Danny King. Number 4 blew us away with his form on Wednesday with paid 9 points from Ben Cook. At 3, he topped the score chart last night with a paid maximum. It's a dream come true for Richard Lawson. Number 2, he made the best possible debut as a Pirate last week, scoring a paid maximum from his 4 rides, Zach Cook. And number 1, securing the win last night, 24 hours ago, the Pirates points machine, Steve Worrall. Alright, down here we've got our 2 captains, Danny King, Hans Andersen. We're just waiting for Morris to join us with his coin. Morris, if you'd like to join us. Hans is going to call. What are you calling, Hans? He's calling heads. Here's tails. It's Danny's call.
We will choose in 15.
He's going to choose Heat 15. Hans, what are you going to have for Heat 1? 1 and 3 for the
So the Gladiators lose the toss. Danny King chooses to nominate Heat 15, what gates they have. So Hans has then in turn taken 1 and 3 for the Gladiators. Here we come, its riders are making their way to tapes. This is Heat 1, sponsored by KD Wardrobes. On the inside, in yellow, for the Gladiators, is Ben Barker. In gate 2, in blue, for the Pirates, is Zach Cook. In gate 3 is the guest, in white, Chris Harris. And in gate 4, in red, will be Stevie Worrall. There we go, aggregate score up there in the top corner. It's 48 to the Pirates and 42 to the Gladiators before we even start.
Starting from gate 3 in his first one, Chris Harris.
Few cheers for Harris in the crowd here. Obviously everybody loved him here when he was at the Pirates. He's just one of those lovable characters. Rob Wadham, our start marshal, calling the boys in. And away we go with Heat 1. And it's a good start from the Gladiators. It's Worrall around the outside. And it's Zach Cook coming up the inside of Ben Barker. Barker's a tenacious character and he gets the better of him. He's now taking chase to Worrall. Barker made a mistake there. Zach Cook nearly got in behind him. But it's Chris Harris out front in white for the Gladiators, the guest for the evening. He's tearing away, I think, all the actions in second and third. Barker is really pushing Worrall. Worrall is following an inside line. Barker is now trying to just keep him honest. And it's Zach Cook at the back, which is unusual. But it looks pretty processional from here. It looks like coming to the checker flag. It's a win for Chris Harris in white. It's second for Steve Worrall in red. Third for Ben Barker in yellow. And at the back was Zach Cook in blue. Palmer Harris comes round to take the applause. So, here we go. Here's the heat result. It's a win for Chris Harris. Second in red was Steve Worrall. Third was Ben Barker in yellow. And fourth was Zach Cook. So, heat score is a 4-2 to the Gladiators.
Drew Kemp and Nathan Ablitt for the Pirates. The Gladiators are Dan Gilkes and Henry Atkins.
So here we are. In gate 1 for heat 2. In gate 1 is Drew Kemp in red for the Pirates. In gate 2 in white is Dan Gilkes for the Gladiators. In gate 3 in blue is Nathan Ablitt for the Pirates. And in gate 4 in yellow is Henry Atkins for the Gladiators.
Nathan Ablitt in the white helmet, occupying gate number 2, Dan Gilkes. And on the outside this time in the yellow helmet for the Gladiators, Henry Atkins.
So here we go. The boys up at tapes and ready to go on heat 2. A long hold there, a long hold. And it's an unsatisfactory start. That was a long hold by the referee. The fans are now giving a few gestures to the referee from here in the stands. I think I can smell the clutches burning from here. So here we go, we're back at tapes again for the restart of heat 2. On the inside in red for the Pirates will be Drew Kemp. In gate 2 in white will be Dan Gilkes for the Gladiators. In gate 3 will be Nathan Ablitt in blue for the Pirates. And in yellow in gate 4 will be Henry Atkins for the Gladiators. So we have the restart of heat number 2. Colin calling the guys in. I wouldn't argue with Colin, he's a big fella. Tapes are up and away we are on heat 2. And going into the first turn, it looks like the Pirates duo are 1 and 2. It looks like Dan Gilkes coming up the inside there of Ben Cook. Ben Cook Ablitt, it comes straight back up the inside of him. What a move, he's drifted wide. This is where all the action is at 2 and 3. Drew Kemp's out front. And it's Nathan Ablitt. What a ride he's had up to now. He's battling away. And he's going to have to keep his wit. Oh, a mistake there in turn 2. Sees him get past by Dan Gilkes. And Dan Gilkes now looks to be heading away from him. And he's now under big pressure, Nathan Ablitt from Henry Atkins. A better turn there for this. Drew Kemp is the impressive thing here. He's out front in red and he is long, long gone. A big win for Drew Kemp in red. Second in white is Dan Gilkes. Third in blue is Nathan Ablitt. And 4 coming in at the back was Henry Atkins.
Drew Kemp from heat 2.
Quickly becoming a fan's favourite here, Drew Kemp. That takes the heat score with a 4-2 to the Pirates, taking the match score to 6 each. And here is our lineup. On the inside in white for the Plymouth Gladiators is Alfie BOWTELL. In gate 2 in blue is Ben Cook for the Poole Pirates. In gate 3 in yellow is Michael Palm Toft. Could he be a trump card riding at number 4? And in gate 4 in red for the Pirates is Richard Lawson. He was part of the 5-1 at the end of the meeting that brought the lead.
Number 1 belongs to the rider in white, Alfie BOWTELL.
Alfie BOWTELL has done a few laps around here. He's guested a few times last year for Stefan Nielsen, I think, with the injury. So he's ridden here a few times as Alfie. Of course, Palm Toft and Alfie were both here last week for the Bjarne Pedersen farewell meeting. Riders are called into tapes. Away we go with heat 3, and it's a good start from Richard Lawson on the outside. In yellow, Michael Palm Toft ran out of room there, or his bike's packed up, but it's Lawson out front. It's Alfie BOWTELL chasing him in white, and up the inside goes Ben Cook. What a move from Ben Cook in blue. So it's the Pirates on a 5-1. Slight mistake for BOWTELL, but he just drifted too wide and Ben Cook came up the inside. Palm Toft has now got going at the back, but he's good 3/4 of a lap behind. But it's still Lawson out front, being chased by Cook. And BOWTELL there in third. And Palm Toft has got going, but it's a big 5-1 for the Pirates with a win for Richard Lawson. Second goes to Ben Cook. Third goes to Alfie BOWTELL. And at the back was Michael Palm Toft with a few mechanical issues or whatever he had there. So it's a 5-1 heat score to the Pirates, and a lovely couple of wheelies there, taking the progressive score to 11 to the Pirates, 7 to the Gladiators. For Heat 4. Heat 4 sponsored by Top Class Consultancy.
Safety and cost management, giving you more time to run your business.
As the riders come to the line for Heat 4. On the inside in yellow will be Henry Atkins. He didn't trouble the scorers in his first ride out. In gate 2 will be Nathan Ablitt, and he battled away for the Pirates. He'll be in blue. In gate 3 in white will be Hans Andersen. This is his first outing of the night. And in gate 4 in red will be Danny King for the Pirates. As you can see across the bottom of the screens there are Poole Pirates valued sponsors.
We're just hearing from the pits that there is a
That's how these clubs run. Can't thank them enough for being on board with us here at Poole. Oh, it looks like we've got a problem with Atkins over on the back straight. His bike has stopped. He has 40 seconds to get round to the start. He's heading back to the pits. I can't see him getting another bike. We're down to 29 seconds, 25 seconds. What a disaster for the rider in yellow. There is another bike coming. Is he going to make it round in time? He is going to have to get a shift on. This is going to be down to the call of our referee, Paul Carrington. Looks like he's out on track and going to be allowed to start. So there we go, a quick run through the lineup again. Henry Atkins on borrowed machinery. I'm not sure whose bike at the minute. He's on borrowed machinery in yellow on the inside. In gate 2 in blue is Nathan Ablitt. In gate 3 in white is Hans Andersen for the Gladiators, and outside is Danny King in red for the Pirates. Here we go, it's Heat 4. The tapes have gone. The tapes are gone. I have a feeling it might have been the rider in white, but I'm not sure. The rider guilty of the starting infringement is the rider in red, Danny King. So that means we now need to use both start marshals. So the second start marshal will go back 15 metres, as you can see there in our shot. So we'll go through it again for the third time. On the inside, I don't know whether he's still, yes, he's still on borrowed machinery. Henry Atkins in gate 1 in yellow for the Gladiators. In gate 2 for the Pirates is in blue is Nathan Ablitt. In gate 3 in white is Hans Andersen, who I actually thought broke the tapes. But I think Danny must have touched them and Hans went flying through him. He's there for the Gladiators, and Danny King on the outside in red, 15 metres back for the Pirates. As you can still see there by the flags on the centre green, still very blustery. Danny King there obviously found a really, really grippy part of the track. If you saw him earlier with the Dartometer, he obviously picked too grippy part on the start there. Maybe he won't do that again with me. Here we go again. It's race 4 and away we go. And it's a good start from Ablitt. He really forced. Oh, now Ablitt's down. Danny's laid the bike down. I think he's okay. But I don't know what's going to be happening here. What's going to be happening here? Ablitt made a good start, was in second, drift slightly wide. And I think it looked from here like possibly he got tapped by Henry Atkins. I'm not sure. Looking at the exclusion lights, it looks like the rider in yellow will be excluded from the heat. Hans Andersen now just being pushed off. The 2 minutes has now been put on by our referee, Mr. Carrington. He's he probably can't wait to see the back of this heat. I think all 4 riders here can't wait to see the back of this heat. I don't like to keep mentioning heat on such a cold night, but I mean, when I mean heat as in race. It is a chilly, chilly night here in what is usually sunny Dorset. Here we go again then. So nobody in gate 1 after the exclusion. So gate 2 in blue is Nathan Ablitt. For the Pirates in gate 3 is Hans Andersen. In white for the Gladiators, and Danny King is still off as 15 metres out at gate 4 in red for the Pirates. Please, please, please do not send me a message on Twitter saying you're all nice and toasty and watching in front of a log burner, because that would make my hands even colder. So, talking of hands, here we go. Race 4 is away again. And again, it was a good start by Ablitt. Just got cut across there by Hans Andersen. But it's Hans in front in white. Danny King rapidly making pace at the back there in red. He's caught up within a lap already. You expect him to go round Ablitt. Oh, he just locked it up a little bit there. So he's gone round Ablitt and now in hot pursuit of Hans Andersen. So it's Hans out front, Andersen in white. Danny King now in red, taking chase. Could he perform a miracle and catch him off of 15? He is definitely making inroads. He's definitely making inroads. Andersen gives a quick look over his shoulder. He knows he's coming, but he's only got a straight and 2 corners to do it in. I think he's going to run out of time. It's a good ride from Hans Andersen out front for the Gladiators in white. Second in red is Danny King, and third is Nathan Ablitt.
It was takes the flag victory for Hans Andersen.
For a 3-3 heat score in heat 4, taking the match score to 14 to the Pirates, 10 to the Gladiators. And we'll head over to our roving reporter, Rob Dyer, in the pits.
Well, we've come over to the Plymouth side of the pitch just to have a look and see what's happening with the Gladiators, and looks fairly calm down there, and they should be too, because they're making a fist of this meeting, and a long way to go, but lots of chances still to come for the Gladiators. Hans Andersen nearest to us here, just completing a race win, so great news for Hans. Dialed into a track that he knows so well. We'll just walk round to the other side now and have a look at the Pirates and see what we can see in the Pirates den. The tractor going round and doing some grading. And let's just see if we can quickly have a word with Richard Lawson. Richard, on the live stream, good race win to start with, happy with that?
Yeah, nice to come off gate 4 early on and get across, so yeah, really happy. And then I looked over my shoulder and teammate was there, so that was even better. So yeah, good start.
Track conditions okay?
Yeah, good. It's a little bit patchy, but I think the tractors are out now and that'll shape up nice. Yeah, I think considering the weather, it's really good.
Yeah, difficult day for track prep really, with the showers and the wind.
Yeah.
Trying to get it right, it's a hard job, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like I said, they've done a good job, and we've got a good racetrack.
Okay, good. Keep it going.
Thank you. We'll try.
Cheers. Thanks, Richard. And quickly go to Midlow. Midlow, we knew this was going to be a toughie, and it's turning out to be an even-Steven match so far.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's early doors yet. A lot of heats to go, just 4 gone by. But yeah, they're pretty nippy at the start, the Devils. So, the Devils? Yeah, it's close enough. Used to be. Yeah, Gladiators. But no, it's yeah, we never thought it was going to be easy. I mean, we're never complacent. I mean, a lead's a lead, but we just got to maintain it. And a bit of unluck there for young Danny touching the tapes, but yeah, we're still there.
Nathan Ablitt doing well today, battling away hard.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's tough for him. I mean, but he's making some starts. I just said to him, you know, you're making some good starts, and that's half the battle. Obviously, against Hans Andersen, it's always going to be hard, but Danny's just had a word with him. Nathan said he was having a little bit of trouble getting into the corners, so Danny's had a word with him. Hopefully, we can get him getting a bit harder.
And that's what this Pirate team's all about, sharing experiences and getting better.
Yeah, exactly right.
Thanks, Neil. Go well.
Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers. And as we walk along a bit further, it's Ben Cook there, just relaxing himself and getting ready for the next one. Here's Zach. And Zach, not the best of starts, but plenty of time to put it right.
Yeah, you know, track is a bit sort of patchy there in the first one. Yeah, a bit greasy in some spots, and yeah, sort of caught me out a bit. But yeah, on to the next one.
Heat 8's a good one for you.
Yeah, try and win all next 3 of them.
Okay, take care and go Cook. Thanks a lot.
So the score so far is 14 to the Pirates and 10 to the Gladiators. And on aggregate score, it's 62 to the Pirates and 52 to the Gladiators. So here we are, ready for Heat 5. All the riders are at tapes. We have on the inside, in red, Richard Lawson. And next to him, for the Gladiators, in white, we have the hard-charging Ben Barker. In blue, in gate 3, we have Ben Cook. And on the outside, we have the Heat winner from race 1. It's in white, Chris Harris for the Gladiators. Don't be confused by his Brummies race jacket there. We know he's guesting for the Gladiators and has 1 win so far tonight. As does Lawson from gate 3, so something's got to give. Away we go into the first turn. Bomber looks to have made a start. Lawson's got there at the same time. But it's Bomber that comes out on top, and Ben Cook then comes under Dan Gilkes. Oh no, it's Barker, sorry, Ben Barker, so it's Barker at the back. But Bomber looks to be clearing off at the front. He is tramping on Bomber there at the front in white for the Gladiators. Lawson in red for the Pirates in second. In blue is Ben Cook. In third, and at the back is Dan Gilkes. In yellow. So 1 lap to go. Bomber really stretching his lead. He's gone out wide there at the pit turn. Oh, a little wheelie up the back straight there, so very confident. So it's looking like, barring mechanical, oh, it's not, no mechanical failure. It's a win for Chris Harris in white. In second, in red for the Pirates is Richard Lawson. In third, in blue, was Ben Cook. And coming in at the back, not troubling the scorers, was Ben Barker in yellow. So the heat score on that one was a 3-all draw, taking the total to match score to 17 to the Pirates and 13 to the Gladiators. Taking the progressive score to 65 to the Pirates, 55 to the Gladiators. Here we are. We're now on heat number 6. And on the inside, in white, is Hans Andersen, the fast starting Hans Andersen. He won his first heat for the Gladiators in gate 2. In red is the Poole Pirates number 1, Stevie Worrall. In gate 3, looks like it's Henry Atkins on a reserve change. So I do apologise there. It's Henry Atkins on a reserve change in yellow. And in gate 4, Zach Cook in blue. Well done to our producer there. Got the reserve change before me. So that was good.
We're hearing that the rider in yellow is actually a replacement, Henry Atkins, taking the place of Dan.
Oh, that was good work for us there. We got that even before the centre green announcer, so that was good. Here we go. It's heat 6. Up go the tapes. And it's a good start in red for Worrall. And it looks like coming round the outside. In blue is Zach Cook with him, but Zach then got cut off by Andersen. But it's Worrall out front. Andersen looking very quick and menacing. Trying to pressure Worrall into a mistake. It's Henry Atkins at the back in yellow. But it's Zach Cook now coming up the Harvey Avenue to try and get under Hans. Yes, he did. He's got under Hans into turn 1. What a move that is. Hans now coming back on the outside, but Zach Cook has made it stick. He's made it stick. What a move. Hans Andersen's coming back up the inside. All the action here in 2 and 3. Worrall's out front, oblivious to what's going on. Zach Cook's got his head down. He's trying to get away. Hans Andersen trying to cut tight, but the fans go crazy. What a move. It's a win for Steve Worrall. In second, it's Blue, it's Zach Cook. In third, it's Hans Andersen. And at the back, it's Henry Atkins. It's a heat. It's a maximum score and heat win, a 5-1 to the Pirates. They're coming round now to take the applause from the crowd, and quite rightly so. So it's a 5-1 heat score there to the Pirates, taking the progressive score to 22 to the Pirates on the evening, to 14 to the Plymouth Gladiators, taking the aggregate score to 70 to the Pirates, as you can see on screen, and 56 to the Plymouth Gladiators. The Pirates open up a 14-point lead, and confirmation there, just leaving your screens. Contact for the Pirates, but here we go. It's heat 7, and on the inside in red is the Pirates captain Danny King. Let's hope he doesn't touch the tapes on this occasion. In gate 2 in white for the Plymouth Gladiators is Alfie BOWTELL. In blue in gate 3 is Drew Kemp for the Pirates. And on the outside in gate 4 in yellow for the Plymouth Gladiators is Michael Palm Toft. Got a few machinery issues in his first one. He'll be looking to do something more, will Palm Toft, for the Gladiators on this occasion. Let's not forget that Drew Kemp won first time out in heat 2, and he looked pretty quick as well. So as we wait for the riders to come into tapes, sponsor for heat 7 was West Marine. And away we go. Heat 7's away, and they belt into the first turn. It's a great start from Drew Kemp. Round the outside there in yellow was Palm Toft. He's taken chase to Drew Kemp. Danny King has taken chase to Palm Toft, and BOWTELL is taking chase to Danny King. Big wide move, Drew Kemp's out front, but Palm Toft looks quicker. He's trying the inside line on Kemp. Kemp's going to have to shut the door into turn 1, and he does. Drifts then wide into the dirt and gets a bit of acceleration, and now Danny King is coming in red. And he's gone under, mid-turn, he's gone under Palm Toft. Palm Toft cuts back under him. This is some great speedway here at Wimborne Road. It's a big run round the outside from Danny King now. Palm Toft shuts him off, but no, there was a small gap. King's gone wider, 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 and he's gone round him on the last turn. Unbelievable, another 5-1 to the Pirates. What a speedway race that is. That is what you pay the money for. Oh my word. Superb. Superb win for Drew Kemp there. And what a second place from Danny King. In third place was Michael Palm Toft. And at the back was Alfie BOWTELL. It's a 5-1 heat score to the Poole Pirates, taking the progressive score to 27 to the Pirates, 15 to the Plymouth Gladiators. So it's a reserve change here in heat 8. We will go through that in a second. Garry May just loves messing up everybody else's program. So on the inside, in gate 1 in blue is Nathan Ablitt for the Pirates. In gate 2 in yellow is Jan Gilkes as a reserve change. Gate 2, he's in instead of Henry Atkins. In gate 3 in red is Zach Cook for the Pirates, and in gate 4 in white for the Gladiators is Ben Barker, the hard charger.
In red then, on gate number 3 for the Pirates, give it up for Zach Cook. Let's hear a shout for the man who scored in each of his rides so far. On gate number 1 in the blue.
Zach Cook a couple of points from his last ride.
From heat 4, Nathan Ablitt.
Ben Barker picked up a point in his first ride, but nothing in his second. Gilkes has only picked up the 2. Heat 8 sponsors of the Bournemouth Betting Centre. Long-time supporters of the Pirates, but here we go with Heat 8. And it's a good start in red from Zach Cook. Around the outside is Barker going with him, but there was no room. Nathan Ablitt there in third, and Dan Gilkes in yellow at the back. Barker's now done a bit of a cut back and trying to make a big long straight of it. He goes wide in white, now tries to make a cut back again. That was a huge tank slap he had on, but he still goes into turn 1. Leg trailing, grass stacking style. The all-eventful style of Ben Barker is right here this evening. He's grabbed a load there, and how did he not hit the fence? He is entertainment and hard charging, but I think now the race has gone for him. I think that mistake has cost him. It's Zach Cook in red out front, and he's coming home to take the win. Hal Barker stayed on in yellow to take 2 points, shaking his head. I can't work that out, how he stayed on. In third was Nathan Ablitt in blue for the Pirates. And Dan Gilkes has just got past the line and his bike is packed up. So, it's a 4-2 heat score to the Pirates from heat 8, taking the progressive score to 31 to the Pirates and 17 to the Gladiators. So we're having a track grade, so we'll head over now to the pits and our roving reporter Rob Dyer.
Okay, well, we're in the pits area, and you see Dan Gilkes just coming in with Ben Barker giving him a bit of support. Ben, got time for a very quick word. How's it going for you tonight?
I'm struggling, you know. Don't normally struggle here at Poole, but I'm just struggling to find a sap at the minute. So, I mean, the meeting's gone now, I think, and the knockout cup. So it's all about we're just making a big change to try and when I come back here in the league, if it's the same, we'll have something working.
Too grippy, too slick?
Track's good. It's not nothing to do with the track. I mean, they're riding it well, so, you know, it's rider, you know, so I've got to get it sorted for myself, and the boys have, so everyone at home, say hello to everyone at home watching as well, so no, it's good. Okay,
keep yourself safe. Go again next time.
No safe, let's just ride hard.
Okay, mate. Thanks, Ben. Always good to have Ben give his view on what's going on. Let's just quickly zip down the Poole line of the pits here, and if we can, I want to get down to Nathan Ablitt down at the end. Hopefully the stream holds up and we'll be able to have a quick word with Nathan, because he's been battling like crazy tonight, and it would be good to get his take on how things are going. You see, it's a little bit of a conference at the moment going on between Nathan and Neil, and we'll just wait till they finish and we'll just dive in quickly and speak to Nathan. Hi Nathan, it's been a pretty good, interesting evening for you tonight, starting pretty good, and points on the board.
Yeah, you know, it's always good to get points on the board, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. Had that crash, but you know, we're still learning every ride. You know, don't feel as set as I was last week. I'm, you know, maybe it's set up. I'm a bit twitchy, but you know, gating's better, and you know, starting to come together a bit more. As you said, scoring, but yes, still a long way to go.
Doing your job though for the Pirates down there at number 7. Nasty crash, but okay physically, no problems.
Yeah, no, I feel alright. I'm pretty sure I ache in the morning, you know, but yeah, I'll be alright.
Busy week coming up. Under 21 semi-final at Mildenhall on Sunday. That's going to be a big one for you.
Yeah, you know, it's something I want to do well in. Obviously, get through to the final, and yeah, you know, it's just making starts, isn't it? Especially around Middleditch, get a start and I'll be all right. So, yeah, hopefully finish strong in my last ride, and yeah, as you say, I'll look on to Middleditch Sunday.
Okay, mate, keep doing what you're doing. Thanks
Cheers.
very much. Cheers. So there we are. That's Nathan Ablitt, who's having a good night for the Pirates. Let's see if we can go back to Zach. Promised you you'd win Heat 8, mate, and came up trumps.
Yeah, you know, couple of good starts always helps. Yeah, it's all right when you're out in front, just, yeah.
And keep Ben Barker behind you. He's always persistent, isn't he, and on your back wheel?
Yeah, you never know where he's going to be, so it's hard to, yeah, it's difficult to sort of know where to ride when you got someone like him behind you, but yeah, covered me ground and yeah.
Looks like the Cup victory is almost secured now. A good advantage for the Pirates overall, so look forward to a good last ride and see where we go in the next round.
Yeah, I don't even know the score to be honest, but yeah, everyone's having a pretty good night so far, and yeah, a few more wins and everyone will be happy.
Okay, keep buzzing. Thanks, Zach.
No worries. I'll say hello to Mum and Dad. Thank you.
Hello, Mum and Dad. I don't know if you're here or if you're back home in Oz, wherever you are. Zach and Ben doing a great job for the Pirates. We'll hand back up to the commentary position to Scotty Mitchell.
That's exactly what's happened. It's Henry Atkins that's come out to take Dan Gilkes' spot in yellow for not making the 2 minutes. So we have all our riders here. Ben Cook's the first into tapes there, quickly followed by Richard Lawson. Andersen and now Atkins on the outside. Here we go then. Heat number 9 is away. There's a lot of elbows there, and it's the Pirates boys out front. Hans Andersen chasing in third, and it's Atkins at the back. Andersen now goes wide on Cook, trying to straighten it up and get some speed going into turn 1. But it's Lawson out front and Cook. Lovely bit of team riding there round bends 1 and 2. You have to say Andersen's going to find it difficult to break them, but I don't want to put the commentator's curse on it. As we head into the last lap, coming off of turn 4, Andersen's not giving this up, to be fair. Cook's got a little lift on the inside, looks over his shoulder, sees Andersen still behind him. Another little check, grabs a little bit of grip there off the inside of the pit turn to Ben Cook. But it's a win for Richard Lawson, sorry. It's a second place for Ben Cook. It's a third for Hans Andersen, and Henry Atkins came at the back. It's a maximum heat score again for the Pirates. It's a 5-1 heat score, meaning the match score on the night is 36 to the Pirates, 18 to the Gladiators. The progressive score is 84 to the Pirates and 60 to the Gladiators. Yeah, we head to Heat 10. The riders are at tapes. And Pirate Casts are our sponsors tonight at Heat 10. And on the inside in blue, we have Zach Cook for the Pirates. And in Gate 2, we have Michael Toft in yellow for the Plymouth Gladiators. In Gate 3, we have Steve Worrall in red for the Pirates. And we have in Gate 4, Alfie BOWTELL for the Gladiators in white.
In the white helmet on gate number 4, 1 point on his score chart so far for Gladiators, Alfie BOWTELL. And in gate number 2, also with 1 point on his chart, 2 outings so far, Michael Toft.
Stevie Worrall has 5 points from his outings so far tonight. His 2 outings. Zach also, he has 5 from 3 outings. But a very tough night for Palm Toft tonight. He's failed to make too many impressions. He's just got the solitary point. on the inside from Palm Toft, but it's the Poole riders at 1 and 2 again as they go into turn 3. Palm Toft really going hard after the Pirates duo. He's found something that's working, Palm Toft, because he's now gone round Zach Cook. Does Worrall know that he's gone? As he looked over his shoulder, no, he can still see Zach in the inside. Oh, Zach's come back up the inside on the Happy Avenue at turn 4. Palm Toft caught up napping a little bit there. As the heat seems to settle down a bit, Palm Toft scored it again, but it's the Pirates duo first and second. And as they go into heat, into turn 3, it looks like a 5-1 again to the Pirates. It's a win for Worrall. It's second place for Zach Cook. It's third for Palm Toft, and Alfie BOWTELL comes in at the back. It's a 5-1 heat score to the Pirates, taking the match score on the night to 41 to the Pirates, 19 to the Gladiators. Lovely wheelies there from the boys after their match 5-1, and the aggregate score goes to 89 to the Pirates and 61 to the Gladiators. 2 minutes is on from our referee, Paul Carrington, as we approach heat 11. On the inside in white, for the Plymouth Gladiators is Chris Harris. In gate 2 in red we have Danny King. In gate 3 in yellow we have Ben Barker for the Gladiators, and on the outside in blue we have Drew Kemp for the Pirates. Drew Kemp's had 2 heat wins. Can he make it 3? But also Chris Harris has 2 heat wins as well in white. He's having a good evening here as a guest. We did see Hans Andersen at the top of the show say that Bomber was flying on Monday night, and I've got to believe he's flying on Wednesday night at all with his 2 heat wins.
And in game number 3, 3 points from 3 outings, the form of the Gladiators.
Let's not forget we got the entertainment personified Ben Barker in yellow in gate 3. He really was battling with his setup in his last ride in heat 8. He was riding that bike, it was like a bucking bronco. So here we go. It's heat 11. It's heat 11 indeed. And the rider in red, Danny King, looks to have touched the tapes hard again. I think is the word we're looking for. So we're back with the restart. Oh, we're still waiting for the tapes to be repaired. Guys are still putting the tapes together, but we're back with the restart. Second time of asking of heat 11. Here we go. On the inside, Chris Harris, the guest for Plymouth Gladiators tonight in white. In gate 2 now in red is Nathan Ablitt for the Pirates. In gate 3 in yellow is Ben Barker for the Plymouth Gladiators, and on the outside in blue is Drew Kemp with his 2 heat wins. Here we go, the riders are in at tapes. Up goes the tapes and away we go, and it's a good start from Bomber on the inside. But the red lights are on. The red lights are on. So it's an unsatisfactory start. Seems all 4 riders are to return to the line. The 2 minutes is back on immediately already. So, for the third time of asking, we have on the inside Chris Harris in white. We all know that already. In gate 2, we have Nathan Ablitt in red. In gate 3, for the Gladiators, we have Ben Barker. He's really digging away there like a landscape gardener, Barker. And in gate 4, we have Drew Kemp, unbeaten tonight so far in blue for the Pirates. In they come. He looks happy with all the riders in their positions. His arms go up, so the tapes will go up, and away we go. And it's a good start on the outside from Kemp, but he's just got eased out by Barker. And up the inside. Oh, it looks like Barker's blown. Barker's blown. Drew Kemp now takes chase after Bomber. This will be a good learning curve for the young man to follow Bomber around the Wimborne Road circuit. As Barker trickles over the line. You smell something definitely not right with that bike. But it's Bomber out front. Chris Harris in white. Kemp chasing him. And Ablitt. Nathan seems to be quicker, getting quicker and quicker as the night goes on. Back there in third, not being dropped too far. But it's Bomber and the style of Chris Harris out front. He likes to ride wide, he likes to ride in the dirt. We've seen him do it many, many times here at Poole in the Skull and Crossbones, but tonight he's doing it for the Gladiators. And it's a win in white for Chris Harris, the guest for the Plymouth Gladiators. In second place is Drew Kemp in blue.
For Chris Harris, heat number 11
in red, sorry. And coming in at the back was Ablitt in third, and obviously a non-finisher from Ben Barker. I know in darts sometimes it's difficult. You can win a tournament one year and you go back the next year as the champion and you can go first round, but the Pirates haven't done that tonight. So in gate 1 in yellow is Henry Atkins for the Gladiators. In gate 2 in red is Richard Lawson for the Pirates. In gate 3 in white is Alfie BOWTELL for the Gladiators. And in gate 4 is Nathan Ablitt in blue for the Pirates.
In gate 3 in the white helmet colour, 1 point so far from 3:18 just before from Alfie BOWTELL. And also,
so here we go.
in the yellow helmet colour, for the Gladiators.
Riders being called in. Our starters ready, we are ready, and the riders are ready, and away they go. It's a good start from Lawson in red. The middle placing's being taken by the Gladiators, and it's Ablitt at the back there. It's BOWTELL in second. And it's Henry Atkins there in third. But all the work's being done out front by Lawson. He's going wider and wider and getting closer to the fence. But he looks comfortable out there, the rider in red. Oh, big lift for Alfie BOWTELL. Nearly hit the outside of Tor. In white there in second. It's Ablitt at the back. He's turned the wick off, but it's a win for Lawson. Second is BOWTELL, and third is Atkins, and Ablitt, the first time he hasn't scored tonight, coming home at the back. So it's a 3-all heat score, taking the progressive score to 47 to the Pirates on the night, and a win, and 25 to the Gladiators, and an aggregate score, it's 95 to the Pirates, 67 to the Gladiators. So we'll hand over now back to our Roman reporter in the pits, and let's see who Rob Dyer's got with him or what he can find.
Just going to see if I can quickly have a quick word with Drew Kemp with his hat on. This bright yellow hat that is becoming his trademark. I'm going to zoom in with Drew. Drew, 3 rides and pretty good return so far this evening.
Yeah, it's not been too bad. It's a shame I dropped a point there. But no, it's been good, so just got to try and keep up now, and yeah, you know, I'm enjoying my time as a pirate so far, so yeah, like I said, just trying to keep it up.
Gate 4 there was a bit of a toughie for you, and you almost got there, but with riders of Bomber's character in the race, it's going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, exactly, you know, Bomber's probably been riding longer than I've been born, so yeah, it would have been nice to have, you know, been with Bomber a little bit more, but like I said, he's very experienced at this game. He's done it for many years, and you know, he's been a Grand Prix rider, and it just, you know, shows. So we're on our way there, we're not far off, and yeah, like I said, as long as we can keep it going, keep trying my best, then eventually we'll get where I want to be.
From a team point of view, good performance all round so far this evening, and it looks like progress in the Cup's now assured.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, obviously nothing's over yet, but I'm pretty certain we're through, so I think it gives a good sort of incentive for the rest of the season, and to show other teams what we're really capable of, especially around our home track. So yeah, it was fairly close last night, but it's nice to make it sort of fairly easy for ourselves tonight and not have to worry so much.
Good to see you getting dialed in, Drew. Have a good ride when you finish off.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks,
Drew. Good scores tonight from Drew there, and let's just walk along the line, and man flexing his fingers is Steve Worrall. Steve, we're live streaming at the moment. Good performance from the team tonight, and looks like assured progression into the next round of the Cup.
Yeah, solid effort from all of us, really. You know, everyone's pulling away. Nathan's feel like he's getting better and better every race. You know, we're all trying to chip in and keep pushing him forward, but now from the rest of the guys, solid effort.
Yeah. He's a youngster, isn't he, in relative terms, and he needs all the advice and the guidance that he can get, and he puts it to good use on the track, and I think we've seen tonight that he's learning all the time.
That's it, and we've all done a lot of laps around here, and Nathan, I think his first time on it was obviously press day, and then last week on the other side of the pit, so it's kind of first experience at home with the Pirates, so keep chipping away. You know, he's got a lot of support. Everyone's been over all night trying to, you know, helping him, pointing him in the right direction. And I get it can be overwhelming when you got so many people coming over, saying so many different things. But all of them are right, hopefully. And you know, he'll keep chipping away, and he's a more than capable rider, so he'll get there.
Keep doing what you're doing, Steve. Not only for the Pirates, but for yourself as well.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
There's Steve Worrall, and we've got the brothers Cook here, and you say too many cooks spoil the broth. Well, not at Poole this year, because the boys are doing a great stint. Let's see if we can just dive in with Ben for a second and see what Ben's got to say. Just jump in quickly, Ben. We're on live stream, and I know you want to say hello to your folks back home, because Zach's done the same, but not too bad so far tonight.
Yeah, so far so good. One more to go, so hopefully another paid win or even a heat win would be good. So yeah, it's all good. Just first one off the meetings here at Poole, and yeah, it's good.
Great team effort as well tonight. Everybody chipping in good points.
Everyone's doing their thing. Even Nathan's just learning the track, and it takes time. So it's all good. Good track time, and yeah, I'm sure we'll be all firing no matter time. Yeah.
Good lad. Keep going well, Ben. Thanks very much for your time. There we are. It's Poole side completed. Let's see what we can do, if we can slide round the corner and see what's happening with the Gladiators. I'm sure it must be a little bit depressing. It's Garry May here. See if we can get Garry to quickly have a very word on the live stream. Garry, for your Plymouth supporters, a bit disappointing tonight, but tough side Poole to come and do something at Wimborne Road.
Yeah, Poole dialed in round here. They got a good side, you know. My riders are not dialed in. We've just got to sort ourselves out, really. You know, lucky we had Bomber here tonight, help us out. But yeah, the Poole are going to be up there in the end with Bobby Glasgow and Leicester to win the title. Do you know what I mean? So we got to go to red car on Friday and just do the best we can to try and make sure we make them playoffs, you know what I mean? But that's the next thing to do, and get the boys fired up.
Yeah, but you've got a good strong squad there at Plymouth this year, and it'll take a few meetings to get completely au fait with everything down at the Coliseum, but when everybody's dialed in, it'll be a really tough place for teams to go to.
Yeah, well, that's what we want to do, you know, because like Hans and Michael Palm Toft, at the moment it's like an away track to them, because they only come there once a year. So once they get dialed in down there, we're sorting their engines and that out, like, you know, and then hopefully we'll be a force there, and that's what we want to try and do, win all our home meetings, and then go from there and see what happens. But yeah, we've got to see what happens now. You know, we're out of the cup, but you know, Poole a strong side, and you know they got big free heat leaders, so you know we've just got to move on.
But still 3 heats to go, so chance to make a little bit of an impression at the end of the meeting, maybe.
Hopefully we will.
Thanks, Gary. Sorry it's not been the best of nights for you, but I know you'll come back fighting.
Yeah. No problem.
Philosophical as ever are Gary, and no doubt he'll be weaving his magic on the Gladiators over the course of the next few weeks. So there we are, that's how things look in the pit area, and we'll pass you back to commentary with Scott Mitchell.
I've got to say, I do absolutely love that bit in the pits that we do. But here we go, it's heat 13. On the inside in red is Steve Worrall for the Pirates. In gate 2 is Chris Palmer-Harris. In white for the Gladiators. In gate 3 is Danny King in blue for the Pirates. And on the outside in yellow is Hans Andersen for the Gladiators. Bombers unbeaten tonight. Hans Andersen's had a win. Stevie Worrall's had a couple too. So this would be a biggie. Really looking forward to this heat.
5 points from 3 outing so far on gate number 4.
All good trappers.
Skipper Hans Andersen.
Nice fresh track grade. So all the boys will be looking forward to this. Here we go. Heat 13. Takes her up and away we go. And Bombers made the start again on the inside in white. But it's a big cut back from Danny King. But Bomber looks to have it covered. And at the back, Hans Andersen's going around the outside of Stevie Worrall. It's got tight, but it's fair. But it's Bomber out front, being chased by Danny King. It's Worrall in third and Hans Andersen at the back. They got close on turn 4 on the first lap, Andersen and Worrall. But Bomber's starting to make starts. And that makes life a lot easier for the race wins. He doesn't look like he's going to get caught. He looks really, really quick. Not too many people get the better of Danny King down here, or Stevie Worrall. So credit to Bomber where it's due as he comes to the checker flag. It's a win in white for Chris Harris. In blue is Danny King. In second, in third, it's Steve Worrall. And at the back was Hans Andersen in yellow. So it's a 3-all heat score. Taking the progressive score to 50 to the Pirates. The match score tonight, 50 to the Pirates, 28 to the Gladiators. And the progressive score is 98 to the Pirates and 70 to the Gladiators. And there is confirmation on your screens of the Heat 13 result. We've done well for the rain to stay away. That's been really good, because we thought when we got here with the black clouds it wasn't going to happen, but here we go. Here's your lineup for Heat 14. On the inside in white is Michael Palm Toft for the Gladiators. He's had a tough night tonight. In blue is Drew Kemp. He's had a beaut tonight for the Pirates. In gate 3 is Dan Gilkes in yellow. And outside in red is Ben Cook for the Pirates.
In white on gate number 1, 2 points from 3 is the forward Michael Palm Toft. in yellow had extra rides and has scored.
So here we go. Riders are up at tapes. Heat 14 is away, and it's a good start. In blue from Drew Kemp, and he's away again. At the back is Ben Cook, and he's challenging hard. He's going for Dan Gilkes. Ben's gone on the inside. Gilkes has gone on the big run on the outside, but it looks like Cook's got round there and shut his nose off. So Ben Cook comes up to third. Good move from Cook. Drew Kemp is running an outside line. Palm Toft is trying to get under him, and Palm Toft has come under him and shut him off in the same way that Ben Cook did. But now Kemp's still going wide round the outside. A bit of lift he had to shut off, and it's Palm Toft who's out front and taking the lead. Ben Cook's still there in third, but it's Palm Toft with a good move round the pit turn to bring him his first and only one of the night. It's a win in white for Palm Toft, second for Drew Kemp in blue for the Pirates, third Ben Cook in red. And that was a good move to come from last to third from Ben Cook, and in at the back was Henry Atkins, I think it was. So it was a 3-all heat score. Taking the progressive score on the night to 53 to the Pirates and 31 to the Gladiators. We didn't catch there what heats the Pirates would take, but I would imagine they take 1 and 3 and 15. And it will be Lawson off the inside in red. And Worrall will be in blue off a 3, I'm guessing. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Fantastic. What a guess. So we've got Richard Lawson in red off of gate 1. He's had a good night tonight. He had a good night last night. 11 from 4. Good racing from him. Obviously Bomber's on a max. He's in gate 2 in white for the Plymouth Gladiators. In gate 3, Stevie Worrall is in blue. He's on 9 points from 4. And on the outside, he's been a latecomer. Started the meeting pretty slowly. Had a win in the last heat. Was Michael Palm Toft for the Gladiators. He's in yellow off gate 4.
Michael Palm Toft is the rider in yellow on gate number 4.
Palm Toft looked quick in his last one. Has he come good at the end? Has he found a setup? All will be revealed in just a few seconds' time. It's heat 15. The tapes are up and away we go. And Bomber's not made the start. This could be interesting. It's Lawson out front, and he's waiting for Worrall to come around the outside, and Worrall does come around the outside eventually. Oh, Bomber splits the two of them, and it's round the outside. Lawson looks over his shoulder and sees that it's not Worrall. Sees that it's Bomber. Bomber goes wide. Worrall nearly goes up the inside. This is all action stuff. Don't take your eyes off of this one. Worrall comes through the inside of Bomber, who drifts too wide. The crowd are going crazy here. The meeting's over, but you can't tell the crowd that. Here comes Bomber again. Worrall spinning up a little. Harris looks quicker. He's not done here. It's Lawson gone out front. It's Toft at the back watching. He's got the best view of watching what's happening in second and third. It's a big blast around the outside from Harris on the last, but it's another 5-1 to the Pirates. It's a win to Lawson. And in blue, it's Stevie Worrall in second place. In third was Bomber, and he didn't get his 15-point max. And in yellow at the back was Palm Toft. So it was another 5-1 to the Pirates, taking the max score to 58 to the Pirates, and 32 to the Gladiators. And the aggregate score was 106 to the Pirates, 74 to the Gladiators. And there's your heat score on screen. Well, you have to say that those riders did not ride that race like the match was over. So there we go, confirmation of the match result on the evening. It was a 58-32 win for the Pirates, and the aggregate score is 106 to the Pirates and 74 to the Gladiators. Danny Ford out there with the troops, obviously a happy man. I think we got our Roman reporter Rob Dyer down on centre green, so we'll hand over to him, I believe.
Thank you very much. Great race to finish the night. Lower Bombers colours. You were swapping places all the way through there. It was a terrific race.
Yeah, he was on it tonight, Bomber. You know, he had so much speed, and we had a bit of a joke before that, you know, someone wanted to stop his Maxim. So for both of us to beat him, especially when he was so quick all night, it's nice, good little race. And I think the dirt line caught him out there at the end, and managed to just nip underneath. So yeah, good race.
First time this evening he hadn't made the start. You guys got in front, he got past you, you got past him. Certainly racing that the crowd will thoroughly enjoy.
That's it, that's what we want. No, we're ready to put on a show, and it's nice that we can end the meeting with a good race like that.
Big win for the Pirates tonight, and an aggregate win, of course, after the victory down in Devon last night, and first rung on the ladder of the Cup to retain it for 2022.
That's it, they're no slouches. You know, when you look at Plymouth's team, and especially with bringing Bomber in tonight, you know, they're very strong all the way through. So for us to dominate tonight like we did, and to beat them like we did last night at Plymouth, it's you know, it's a sign of things to come.
Great team effort, really, all the way round. Last night and today, great team effort.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant.
Thanks, Steve. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you again soon.
Cheers, thank you.
There we are. That's Steve Worrall, and certainly enjoyed his last race of the evening here at Poole Stadium. It's got a bit windy and maybe going to get a little bit wet later on, but that won't dampen the Pirates' spirits after they go through to the next round of the Knockout Cup. So from me, Rob Dyer, on the centre green at Poole, I'll pass you back to Scott Mitchell on commentary, who will give you the closing views from the grandstand.
Yeah, thanks, Rob Dyer. Lovely job tonight, mate. Lovely job tonight. The fans getting their track back. It's just fantastic story. So that's the live stream done. The riders are now off to the bar for their Q&A with the crowd. So that's it from us tonight here at Pirates TV. We look forward to seeing you again in 10 days' time.